The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Sport, Ashwin Creed, responds to reports that he's taken leave without approval. His attorney, Peter Taylor, held a news conference to clear the air on his client's behalf. Ian Wason has the story.
One permanent secretary who has been under scrutiny for reportedly leaving the job without permission is speaking out through his lawyer. Attorney Peter Taylor, speaking on behalf of Mr. Creed, said the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Sport sought the approval of his line minister, Anil Roberts, before he proceeded on leave and left the country on May 13th. According to Mr. Taylor, Mr. Creed informed the head of the public service, Ronald Cooper, of his plans as a formality and not a requirement, as he had already gotten approval from Minister Roberts.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to state categorically, for the benefit of the public, that the Public Service Commission has no authority or is not charged with any responsibility to approve leave for any permanent secretary. In fact, neither is the head of the public service. What happens, and I'm speaking as a former minister of government, I'm not speculating. I sat as a minister of government. What happens is that if the permanent secretary wishes to go on leave, he seeks approval for so doing from his line minister. Once the minister expresses no objection, it is then transmitted to the head of the public service.
It was reported in more than one occasion that Mr. Creed fled the country because he was afraid of his life arising out of the controversial life support program. Mr. Taylor disputed the print media reports and stressed that Mr. Creed was not running for his life or from any probe or audit into the controversial life support program. Mr. Taylor said Mr. Creed left the country before the Prime Minister made the announcement of the audit, but left entirely on personal family business.
So there is no suggestion that Mr. Creed was running from any audit. He left the country on legitimate business, his personal business, his family business, before and long before anything erupted about any audit taking place. And therefore it is mischievous for people who should know better to be peddling this information. So I have come now to set the record straight.
According to Mr. Taylor, Mr. Creed initially got approval for leave for 2 weeks starting on May 13th. He has since gotten an extension until June the 30th. Mr. Cooper has since confirmed that Mr. Creed's absence and extended leave have been approved by his line minister. In the past week, Mr. Cooper has been under pressure to take action against Mr. Creed and another permanent secretary, Giuliano Johan Budram, in the Ministry of Tourism for allegedly leaving the country without permission. Meanwhile, according to reports, two other top officials in the Ministry of Sport, Ruth Marchand and Cornelius Price, say they are living in fear in relation to the controversy over the life sport program and distribution of contracts to alleged gang leaders. Ian Wason,